Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbat, it feels a little bit like a flashback here to a time when our sanctuary is empty of people, and we are all streaming from home this evening in order that we can have our guest speaker. We are here on Shabbat Shuvah between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, our first Shabbat of 5782, and we are also here on this night, the eve before the 20th anniversary of the attacks on September 11th. And so we have a lot to carry this Shabbat, and yet, as it's the first Shabbat of the year, a lot to look forward to. We'll begin by lighting our Shabbat candles, page 2 in our prayer books. We invite you to join us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
To begin, page 13, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. It is time for us to mark the newness of a year, to sing out, and to bless that newness with the words of Psalm 96, page 13.
Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, Shiru Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Page 20 in our prayer books, the words of L'chad Odi invite us to walk back through this week. For most of us, it was just a few days ago we were all together, and it will be just a few more days until we gather together on Yom Kippur. And so this Shabbat holds a special place for us. It continues to be a time to reflect on the most serious topics of our world, to reflect internally, but also to hold up this moment of celebration between our two great holidays. Page 20, L'chad Odi, we invite Shabbat into this season, into the sanctuary, and into your homes.
P'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmiyanu el hamayuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shem u'tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lecha v'nei סוף מעשה במשכבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דמרי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Please feel free to face the entrance to your home.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובשמחה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 26.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה וילמד יברח ידותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועולמי יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר וידרום ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודש בריחו לעילם ינקום ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירה מעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
Page 28, we rise for our Baruch.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, God, who allows us to note the changes in our world and the changes in our lives, and to hopefully see most of them to be a blessing for us. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too, for its mystery beckons. And yet we struggle with its truth. Remind us that you meant Torah for me and for us, and that the struggle is for us as well. Don't let us struggle alone, God. Help us to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know as we are led into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 34 and 35, the words of our Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivud Malachuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated and join me in chanting V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lektecha v'derech u'shokpecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru b'atzitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
I was able to go back and look at some of the comments that people made online during the holidays. We asked people to share where they were as they joined us from all over the place. It was great to be able to see that we had people from all over the country and all over the world as people have traveled to see their families, and they're joining us from wherever they are, who are connected to us right here. And so too tonight. We're all connected from our homes, thanks to the technology that we have as we share in this Shabbat and continue to march forward as we think of the moments in which we have been together physically, in which we have been together using the technology that we have, the moments where we have reached out to be a community that marches together. Page 40, we share the words of Mi Chamocha, followed by the words of Hashkivenu. Our prayer first, to celebrate the freedom that we have to be with each other, and secondly, to pray that as day becomes night, that we find this transition to the evening peaceful and safe, ready to wake up tomorrow to our Shabbat. Page 40 and 42.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar makodesh, nora tehilot osef aleh, nora tehilot osef aleh, malachutecha ra'u vodecha bokei לפני משה ומרים זלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha.
We turn to page 46 in our prayer books as we rise for our most personal prayers, the words of our Amidah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Lifnei V'Nehem L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava. Zochreinu L'Chaim L'Chafetz B'Chaim, V'Chodvenu B'Sefer HaChaim, V'Chodvenu B'Sefer HaChaim, L'Mancha Elohim Chaim. Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatah, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rafech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimid Umechayeh, Umat Mihak Yeshua, Michamocha, Av Harachamim, Zocher Yetzurav, L'chaim Berachamim. V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamelech hakadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, Holy Sovereign, on this Shabbat Shuvah. Please be seated. As we move towards our closing prayers of our Amidah, prayers about peace, I'll share this prayer written for this Shabbat by Deborah Hatchen, entitled Twin Towers. At night, two beacons call to us. From earth to heaven, twin rays reach out straight as arrows, side by side. Two arms extend high, high above us. Twin columns cut through the dark, returning to us the memory of steel and glass rising out of the earth. Twin towers that stood at attention until they were brought low, fallen back upon themselves, turned from shiny monoliths in those twin hours we will not forget. Steel and glass can be brought low, but not the souls of loved ones. That morning 20 years ago, as bodies fell to earth, their dreams, their loves, their faith, their courage leaped from the ground, defying gravity, lighter than air. Rays of light headed up and out, streaming forth into the unknown, racing ahead of us onward and upward. And now, from 20 years' distance, we call out to them. Through tears and memories, we stretch our arms to them and to the Holy One who plants within us twin seeds of hope and faith that reach farther than any beacons that pierce the night. Page 60. Prayers for an overwhelming sense of peace to find its way to our world. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amecha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amecha. Tasim leolam, Shalom Rav. Please take a moment for silent meditation.
Page 253 in our prayer books. Having prayed for peace, we offer that peace to those who are in need of healing at this time. Since we're not here in person, we won't offer names in the midst of the prayer, but we do encourage you, those of you who are joining us on a medium that allows you to type into the chat, to share names while we share this prayer. And for those of you who are at home and watching but cannot do that, to say the names out loud wherever you are as we connect this prayer to those who are in need of healing. Page 253. Shabbat Shalom. In previous years during Shabbat Shuvah, we have reserved this evening as an evening to make sure we connect with Israel. We've often invited our shlichim, those emissaries from Israel who are living here in Akron, to be our speakers on this evening. We've invited leaders of the community with a particular connection to Israel to speak about how we can remain connected during these high holy days with our Jewish homeland. This year is different. This year I'll be speaking about Israel on Yom Kippur morning, and so we will find the connection there, I pray. But so too, it's different because so much has changed, of course. It is not a time to have guest speakers come and be a part of our congregation. We've yet to bridge that goal yet, but hopefully as we pray things will hopefully get healthier, we'll be able to do that soon. And 2 weeks ago, as legislation was passed in Texas that greatly limited, if not almost abolished, the ability for people to make a choice to have an abortion, some rabbis began speaking up in particular. Rachel Pass reached out and offered a sermon that she recorded that is both personal and very Jewish. And so it's an honor to be able to share this recorded sermon with you. And I would just say this, that as we approach this issue, an issue that the Reform movement has staunchly been in favor of choice since before Roe v. Wade was decided almost 50 years ago. And yet, perhaps, we haven't always been clear as to why that is the position that our movement has taken and why that is a Jewish position. And so this evening we'll hear from Rabbi Rachel Pass, who was ordained just last year. And tomorrow morning at Torah Study, for those who would like to join us, we'll be studying a rabbinic thesis, which was written on precisely this issue, which I found incredibly challenging in that it questions our ability to truly embrace this idea of supporting a woman's choice, to not just put our hand up in favor of something, but to truly put words behind it and to know where those words come from. And so both this evening and tomorrow we will hear from women leaders in our movement as they speak on this issue that is important to all of us, but especially important to women. They should have the face and the voice of this issue in particular. We invite Rachel Pass to be our speaker for this Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rachel Pass. I'm a rabbi in Brooklyn, New York. In this week's Parsha, Nitzavim, we are commanded, I have put before you today blessing and curse, life and death. Uvacharta v'chayim, choose life. I would like to tell you about how I chose life by telling you the story of my abortion. I conceived on the second night of Rosh Hashanah in my second year of rabbinical school while working at my first ever High Holy Day pulpit. I had my first bout of morning sickness in our introductory Talmud course and my first pregnancy craving during Hebrew literature and grammar. I still swear by pickles on pizza. I took my pregnancy test on Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan and whispered the blessing Asher Yatzar et Hadam B'chokhmah, who created human beings with wisdom, when the test read positive. That very night, I attended a required class Shabbat program at Kehilat Romamu on the Upper West Side, where I discovered that morning sickness could indeed happen at night and in a shul bathroom. I prayed. I read every piece of Jewish literature on abortion that I could find. I read every opinion article on the internet about why I'm happy I had an abortion or how I came to regret my abortion. I made a pros and cons list. I consulted the would-be father and my rabbinic friend and mentor. I cried on the phone with my mom. Ultimately, I made the choice using the instinctual wisdom inside of myself, heeding nobody's opinion but my own and perhaps God's. So I left literary artistry of the Bible early on a Thursday afternoon to walk the few short blocks from Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion's New York campus to the Margaret Sanger Planned Parenthood on Bleecker Street. I took the first pill in a quiet office, sitting across from a doctor who looked a lot like me. The next morning, my medieval Jewish history class took a field trip to the Met Cloisters. Our professor was late because she had to prepare her brisket for Shabbat dinner. I felt so sick, I could hardly stand. That night, I live streamed Shabbat services while holding the 4 misoprostol pills in the 4 corners of my mouth, waiting for them to disintegrate. I bled all night. A week after the bleeding stopped, I went to the mikveh, to the ritual bath with Immerse NYC, a liberal mikveh project founded by Rabbi Sarah Luria. I did an adapted version of a ritual written by Rabbi Tamar Duvdevani. I listened to Debbie Friedman's "Those who sow in tears, will reap in joy, will reap in joy." I listened to it on repeat the entire way there and the entire way home. At the mikveh, I looked at my naked body in the giant mirror in the preparation room and saw every change that short pregnancy had wrought. I felt weak and I felt strong. I sang to myself because I was still scared. Under the water and above, under the water and above, under the water and above. Eloheinu shama shenatata bi tehorai. My God, the soul you have given me is pure, oh, it is pure. The next morning, our class took a field trip to that same mikveh to learn about liberal mikvaot. I asked 5 of my classmates, now rabbinic colleagues, to come early. They were pretty much my only friends in New York at the time, and some of the only people I had told about having had an abortion. We stood on the corner of 74th and West End Avenue on a windy morning with a challah that I had baked and a little bit of honey, and we finished the ritual together. We dipped the challah in honey, a symbol of sweeter times ahead. I cried. We stood in a circle and they wrapped their arms around me. Hazorim bedima b'rina yiktzoru, I repeated. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. You may have noticed that my abortion story is very Jewish. Everything from the timing of the accidental conception to the decision and procedure itself was brimming with my Jewish practice, learning, and living. It is impossible to extricate my Judaism from my abortion. And yet, you might also assume that an abortion like mine would not have been Jewishly okay or halachically permissible. Mine is the kind of abortion that anti-choicers deem dangerous. An abortion simply because I did not want to be pregnant. The standard line on Jewish abortion is that Judaism traditionally permits abortion when the pregnancy endangers the life of the mother. This derives from Mishnah Ohalot 7:6, which states that for a woman who is having a hard labor, maksheh leiled, they cut up the fetus in her womb and remove it limb by limb. Mipnei shechayeha kodmin lechayav, because her life comes before its life. Chayeha kodmin lechayav. Her life comes before that of the fetus. What does it mean that the life of the woman or the pregnant person of any gender comes before that of the fetus? It means that her physical needs and pain levels are prioritized over the birthing of the child. It means that her mental health is prioritized over the birthing of the child. It means that her dignity and her honor are prioritized over the birthing of the child. It means that the primary consideration in the Jewish question of abortion is the needs of the person giving birth, their life, their health, and their dignity. Human dignity is what has been stolen by SB 8, the 6-week abortion ban that went into effect in Texas this week. This ban not only removes the option of safe choice for individuals seeking abortion care in Texas, but it also empowers individual citizens to report those who aid people seeking abortion, from doctors to family members to cab drivers. This abortion ban criminalizes care. As Jews, we are commanded over and over and over again to care for those on the margins of society: the poor, the widowed, the orphaned, the queer, the people of color, the disabled, the systemically oppressed. These are the people who are already and will continue to be the most devastated and decimated by this abortion ban and by the ones that are likely to follow it all over the country. The lack of care for those in our society who need it most is a prophetic call to us as Jews. It is our responsibility as Jews and as Americans to fight back against this ban. If you have money, donate to organizations like the Lilith Fund and the Buckle Bunnies Fund, which provide financial assistance to Texans seeking abortion, or to Jane's Due Process, which provides abortion care and birth control to teenagers, or Fund Texas Choice, which provides out-of-state transportation and accommodations. If you have large social networks, share websites like abortionfinder.org or needabortion.org, which direct people to safe and open clinics. If you have a phone, call your legislators and lobby for the Women's Health Protection Act, which protects women and people of all genders against immoral legislation such as Texas's 6-week abortion ban. And if anyone ever again tries to argue that abortion restrictions are under the prerogative of religious freedom, remember that your religious freedom as a Jew in this country demands that you have access to safe abortion care when you need it and when you want it. There is nothing more sacred than the right to live one's life as one chooses. Our Torah teaches us in this week's Parsha, choose life, uvacharta v'chaim. In having an abortion, I chose my life. Countless women, non-binary individuals, and trans men are losing that choice in our country right now. And it is only by the combined efforts of all of us that we can protect that sacred choice. To choose one's own life is to choose blessing. My abortion was a blessing, and my Judaism embraces blessing. Shabbat Shalom.
Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. It's the song of the dreamer from the dark place it grows, like a flower in the desert, the oasis of our souls. Come back where we belong. You who hear our longing sighs, our mouths, our lips are filled with song. You can see our tear-filled eyes. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy.
Please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'liotzer v'reishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, v'lo samanu kamishpachot adama, shelo sam kelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'monim, livnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo echad.
Yizkor, we remember. We remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. We remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were and the children yet to be, we remember. We remember all of those lost 20 years ago today, as well as the many lost in the wars that followed from that moment. And this week, in our community, we remember those that we lost in this last month: Marianne Pressman, Morton Emmerman, Tiffany Wolf, Ellen Migdal. We add to their names Louis Herman Aronson, Belle Green Atkin, Morris Azine, Raymond Barnett, Stanley Byer, Martha D. Brown, Francis Firestone, Hyman Kessler, Bertha Wolfand Corman, William Kushner, Bernice Marks, George Mild, Donald Mearman, David C. Nelson, Lillian Nelson, Mildred Nelson, Ronald Perelman, Aaron Bear Profus, Tony Reisberg, Arlene Robinson, Esther Rose, Michael Rubenstein, Lois Salpeter, E. Schlesinger, David A. Shapiro, Sidney Schechter, E. Nathaniel Sherman, Benjamin A. Silverman, Leonard Sperber, Faith Stahl, Albert Sturman, Abe Swedler, Helen B. Tarr, Max Trope, Dale Jack Vendeland, Robert Woolman, and Annette Zabel. If there are names you'd like to add to our list, please share them aloud now. As we turn to page 294, we invite you to rise and share with us the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. B'agala uv'izman kariv imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, as we say. Amen. Having connected with those that we've loved and lost, we connect with each other as we bless each other with the words of the priests. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May you always know that God's presence is within you, and may that presence bring you peace.
Amen.
We raise a glass now as we share in our Shabbat Kiddush, found on page 4 and 5 in our prayer books.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Bari peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesh u'b'yom u'v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava v'ratzon hinkatanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadosh haShabbat. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A couple quick announcements. We hope that we will get to see all of you either in person or virtually in the coming days. This Sunday is our memorial service, 1 p.m. at Rose Hill, back in the very back of the cemetery in our section. We do a brief memorial service. All are welcome to join as we try to take a few moments out of this holiday season to visit the graves of our loved ones. And so we do that together. If you would like, 1 o'clock Sunday. Yom Kippur begins, Kol Nidre is Wednesday night at 7:30. Yom Kippur morning, we sing at 9:30. The main service at 10:30. The family service, which is new to us this year, will be here at Temple at 1:30, weather permitting. If it rains on Yom Kippur Day, we'll stream that and we'll send the links out for that. But if the weather is good, as it has been, we plan to be right here at Temple on our patio for Yom Kippur, as we'll hear the story of Jonah and read the Torah for our families. It's followed by the afternoon service at 3, Yizkar and Nila at 4:30, and then Havdalah following the end of Ne'ilah. We hope that you will join us either here or online as we continue this holiday season, and then look forward to Sukkot and Simchat Torah, which we won't give all that information right now. But coming up just next week, it is time to be in our sukkahs and to dance around with the Torah. So we look forward to that as well. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We'll conclude with a Shana Tova, that this year be a good year, a sweet year, and a healthy year. We thank Eli and Cantor Kathy, of course. And we miss seeing all of you here, but we will see you here later this week as we celebrate Yom Kippur and hopefully on the Shabbatot to follow. Shabbat Shalom.